Okay, stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. First order of business is the minutes from April. Are there any changes, or anybody have any corrections or anything?
Nope.
No. Okay, I make a motion that the minutes be accepted. Second it?
I was gonna say, I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now the minutes for June.
Right.
Nope,
Comments?
nope, good,
No,
okay.
yeah,
Make
no
a motion-
problems.
Motion to be accepted?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we got, we got one for 9 Cliffside Court, Amanda Vasta. She's requesting a extension of her variance. We gave her, I guess it was in July 8th of 2024. It was, we gave her for the steep slope, that was over in Cliffside Court.
Right.
And
She's
she
been
wants-
in a number of times.
She wants to extend it. She's having, I guess, some issues with the planning and conservation like that, going back and forth, getting permits, so she needs it extended for a year. I don't see any issue. Do you see any issue with that?
No.
All right, so make a motion that we extend it for the year.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, next order of business is John Halpin, 47 Mill Road, Cold Spring. Okay. You're like Mr. Patrick, so you have to tell me who you are.
Yes, he said it was raining too much, so.
Raining too much for him.
He wanted me to come over, he lives in Connecticut.
Oh, he lives-
on weekends, So
It's
it
raining
just
too hard for
ended
him,
up
huh?
this way, yeah.
Okay, could you tell me your name? Your
My
name?
name is Allison Fausner. I'm an attorney with the law firm Cuddy and Fader. With me tonight is the applicant and property owner, John.
Spell the last name? Okay.
F is in Frank, A-U, S is in Sam, N is in Nancy, E-R.
Okay, this one here is, application proposes a 24 by 30-foot garage, otherwise compliant, providing a 25 front-foot yard sidewalk where 50 feet is required. And that was turned down by the code enforcement officer. And you were here last month, and we had a concern with the garage being close to the water, because it's a stream, it's a form of water for like Peekskill and Beacon and so on and so forth. And so I advised them to go to the Conservation Board
Yes,
to get a
they
report. Now, I guess they went there?
They did. They appeared this month. John was there and can give you a more detailed update, but they're looking on scheduling a site visit in the next month.
A site visit for next month? Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do here tonight, I'm going to go ahead with the public hearing, okay? But I'm going to have to keep, on advice of my attorney, we're going to have to keep it open.
Okay.
So until we get a report from the Conservation Board. Okay, but I don't want to hold it back. We might as well, we'll have the meeting tonight.
So you're expecting an individual report from the Conservation Board? It's my understanding they're issuing a wetlands permit. Are we waiting until the issuance of that permit or a separate report?
My understanding is that they were going to issue a report.
A report,
To this board.
Maybe you could tell us what happened at the meeting, or?
Well, I was there. So they didn't raise any particular issues or problems. What they wanted to do was, they wanted to visit the site, and they wanted Beatty and Watson to put stakes in the ground so they could see exactly the footprint of where the garage would be. Just wanted to look at it, see with their own eyes. And I think and Margaret McManus, who you probably know from Beatty and Watson, was trying to schedule a time for them to make that visit. And that was about it. They didn't raise any particular problems or issues, other than they wanted to just see what it looked like in real life.
Yeah, well, like I say, our concern was that the closeness to the stream. You know,
Yeah.
you understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you understand. So we have to wait for a report from them. So what we'll do, we will go through the public hearing tonight, but we're going to keep the public hearing open. Okay? So that means hopefully, our next meeting is September 8th. August we don't meet. Hopefully you have an answer from the Conservation Board by September 8th.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
Is it possible to issue a sort of a conditional approval, conditioned on the wetlands
Yeah, I asked that question. I was advised by the attorney that would not be, that's not the way to go with it.
That's
He
not
wants
the
to
way-
go,
you
he
can't
wants
do
to, wants to keep it open until, and so I have to go by my attorney's advice.
If that's what, I'm a lawyer, I know.
Right.
If your lawyer tells you something, you should listen.
That's it, that's what we pay him for.
That's what you pay.
Yeah, I mean, the issue would be, you know, without a report, I mean, at the last meeting, the board indicated that they wanted referral to the Conservation Board to get their input.
Right.
And so we don't have the benefit of a report or their input or their comments at this point in time. So we just think it would be prudent to wait for that. Because there might be, you know, some issues that may impact the grant of the variance, and the fact that it would be, you know, conditional. Let's see what they have to say, because we wouldn't know what conditions to apply, to the extent we would apply any conditions. We may not.
No, I understand. So you said the next,
Next meeting, you'll be September 8th.
and we'll be on that.
I'm sorry?
We'll be on that agenda?
Yeah, you'll be on the agenda.
We should be able to know whatever the Wetlands Board is going to do, we should know by then.
Yeah, I would hope so. And they would send a written report to us.
Can I just ask one other question?
Sure.
So a notice went out to the neighbors, right?
Right.
And if anyone had an issue, they were going to show up tonight?
Tonight.
I don't know.
And we don't see anybody here.
So does another notice go out?
No.
Oh, so that part of the thing is done?
That's what we're gonna go,
That's what I just wanted to
that's what
know.
we're gonna do tonight,
Okay.
all right?
I did have a question. Is there anything that prevents you from parking in this area now? Like, is it flat or accessible?
I have
or-
a parking area. The point isn't the parking, the point is putting a cover over something, so I
Okay.
don't have to deal with the rain and the snow and the ice, and
Right.
that's what the issue
So
is.
do you usually park there?
No, not in that spot. Right now, that spot is overgrown, and it's got rocks and things, because it's a distance from that. I'm not, it's not a good thing that this detached garage is actually closer to my neighbor than it is to me. And the reason, I mean, I would love it to be closer to my house, but there's this huge rock ledge
Right.
that starts at one part of the property, which at one point, way at the other end is maybe 30 or 40 feet sheer straight rock up, and then what it does, it gently kind of comes down, 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 down for over hundreds of feet until it gets to closer to my neighbor's place, and we're trying to minimize the disruption to digging into a hillside. So we picked the spot where there isn't as much of a steep ledge, so it doesn't disrupt the whole place as much.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what we're, but I would love if I could have done it close, but I don't I don't want it to look like a bomb shelter, like, you know, built into.
Well, you know that stream is used for drinking water, so you have to be very careful, anything that's built around it.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely,
that's the reason for that.
absolutely.
Maybe the attorney could go ahead now and explain to us what you want to do.
Sure, yeah,
Thank you.
I can give an overview. I'll ask a clarifying question at the end just about the Conservation Board report. For a little bit of background, this property is located at 47 Mill Road. It's currently improved with a single-family residence. It's never been improved in the 30 years that the applicant has owned it with a garage. As John indicated, he's seeking a garage because as they get up in age, they don't want to have the strenuous activity of clearing off ice and snow on their cars. It's been situated in a way that avoids steep slopes. So you'll have seen on the survey that the steep slopes begin almost immediately beyond where the proposed garage is, and there's also rock ledges kind of throughout the rear of the property behind it. So in doing so and in locating that, we've tried to minimize any sort of land disturbance and also minimize any sort of clearing or grading that we would have to do for this proposal. So the package we included in the submission back in May had a detailed assessment of the 5 factors. I can go into them. I'm not sure if the chair would like to review them at the end.
We'll go through them.
Also included in that package was various letters of support from the immediate adjacent neighbors, including directly next to it, across the street. So we've had those conversations in advance of this public hearing.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, we'll go through those. I don't think there's anybody who wants to speak to this tonight besides you. I don't see. So, see, most of, the letters went out, and all I have is letters that they're all in favor, your neighbors. I have a number of letters from your neighbors that they're in favor if they have no objections to it and everything else like that. So, and you understand our concern with the water, so that's the reason for that. What I want to go over now is the 5 factors. What those 5 factors, it helps us to determine whether we should grant the variance or not. The variance is not going to be granted tonight, because we have to wait for that report. But we'll go over this and get all this done, and, you'll be okay. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be reduced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. The granting of the area variance for the proposed garage will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, nor will it cause a detrimental to nearby properties. Granting the area variance relief will instead provide a considerable benefit to the applicant and has been designed in a way so as to avoid disturbance of the natural features which define this area. I passed by it, I took a look at it, I agree with that. There really isn't too much else place you can put it, with that big rocks and stuff, that, the cropping that you have behind it and all like that, so I agree with that. Number 2, whether the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved by some method feasible to the applicant to pursue other than the area variance. New York State Town Law, Section 27B, 3B2 requires the ZBA to consider whether the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance. The range of appropriate alternative is limited by 2 standards. First, the alternatives must still provide the benefits sought by the applicant, and second, it must be feasible for the applicant to pursue. So, I don't know how else you could do it, is what I'm trying to say. I don't see where else you could put it or any other way to do it and all. I mean, this goes on and on and on. This is legalese stuff, and they did a good job, but I don't have to read it all, so. Number 3, whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical, environmental conditions in a neighborhood or district.
Well, I think this is where we're waiting on the report then, right?
Yeah, well,
If there's any issues,
yeah,
we'll
the
get
adverse
those
effect, right,
relief.
would be the relief of the proposed garage, the customary structure. I think what they're trying to say here is that it wouldn't have wouldn't be detriment to the neighborhood as far as the building. Is that what you're?
Yes.
Basically, yeah. As far as detriment to the area, it would be we have to find out from the Conservation Board if there's a problem with is it too close to the street? So that
Understood.
we'll wait for, okay? Let's see, number 4, whether the requested area variance is substantial. Requested area variance is not substantial. The subsidy of a variance cannot be judged solely by the comparison of the percentage. I love these attorneys talking, they go into this. By the percentage deviation from the mandated requirements of the zoning code. In considering
We get
whether a
paid by the
variance
word.
is substantial, the ZBA shall examine the totality of the circumstances within an application. This is all great, but the thing is that it's it's a 50-foot variance, and you're asking for 25, so that's 50%. So that, yeah, it is substantial. It definitely substantial. It's not 2 feet. It's 50. It's 25 feet.
Well, the point of the case law that's cited in that section is that various courts in the second department have determined that it's not mathematical deviation alone. When you're looking at the substantiality factor, you're instead looking at the overall impact to the surrounding area, more akin to the balancing test.
Okay. Number 5, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the boards of appeals, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. The need of the area variance relief request herein is not self-created. That's not true. Okay, all you have to do is not build a garage. Okay, so I mean, I can go on and on and on here, but I'm just trying to say, of course it's self-created. I mean, that doesn't mean you're not going to be granted the variance. All I'm just trying to say is that, how long you been living there?
I'm sorry?
How long you've been living in the home?
30 years.
30 years. And you've been 30 years without the garage, right?
I was much younger when
Okay, right. Well, I'm just trying to say, okay, so you're there 30 years, it's not that necessary, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be granted the variance. I'm just trying to be honest with the questions.
Understood.
But, mostly everybody says that it's not self-created, but if you want to put up a garage, you want to put up this, you want to put extensions, self-created. It's not, you don't have to do it. It's just something you'd like to do, and it's something that you need to. At your age, you're looking not to walk up the hill too much and all like that, and I could understand that 100%. Okay. Anybody have any questions on any of this, or
No.
any questions? Or
No, I don't
want to vote tonight on.
Oh, we're not gonna vote.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not going to vote. It's going to be held open.
Yeah,
It's
right.
going to be held open until we get the report from, we can't vote until we get the report from the Conservation Board. And like I said, so the next meeting will be September 8th, Monday, and hopefully you'll have that report, and we can get on with that. Okay?
Are we gonna cover the letters?
No, they're in the pile.
Okay.
They're just from all the neighbors. They look like they're pretty much form letters. They look like something the attorney sent out and have them all signed, so I mean,
Perhaps Dan did.
I did speak to all the neighbors individually. In fact, the one who would be most affected, the one who's literally on the property line next to where the garage, he volunteered to come into the hearing and help in any way he could.
yeah, no, I understand. You got all good letters, you know. But like I say, they're all, there's no sense of me reading them, they're all the same.
They're
It's a
all the
form
same,
letter, they're all
yes.
form letters sent out, and you know,
My lawyer
I got
drafted
it.
it for me to get people to sign.
But there's no complaint letters here,
No.
okay? And there's nobody here to complain, so
Right.
you're ahead of the game.
And
Right.
it's gonna be a pretty quick build, right? Like,
I liked it before it snows again, like I said last time.
yeah, well, yeah.
I don't want to go through
We have
another
this,
winter.
like, it's gonna be a frame on a foundation, right? Like, it's not gonna be like, where it goes into like, neighbors are like, it's gonna be disruptive, there's gonna be trucks and traffic and
No,
guys standing around.
I just
like-
want to be able to park the car someplace so it's sheltered from all
Yeah,
the weather.
yeah, but
That's
like the
really-
build of that type of thing isn't disruptive.
That's why if we can get it done early in the fall, like something can get up before this starts snowing.
Okay,
Well, hopefully, you know, in September we can,
You know, it's all kinds of problems. You go out on snow and ice, you're clearing the car off and you could break your neck slipping on something. I just want to avoid all that kind of stuff.
okay.
Well,
So-
it's a nice package, it's very thorough.
Thank you.
yeah, oh
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
that's for sure.
One last question. Assuming that we're able to schedule the site visit in the next month and appear before the Conservation Board, if they issue a report, this might not matter, but we might also just seek the issuance of the wetlands permit. Would that take the place of any recommendation report, or are you asking for a separate report?
Who's asking for the wetlands permit?
We are, from the Conservation Board.
Okay.
I think I would like something just separate, just, you know, just it's, I'm not worried about it because of the wetlands, you know, being, you know, encroached upon or loss of some kind of like flood control measure. It's more of like the impact of a structure that close to something that feeds an aquifer for drinking water. So that's why I think we're wanting the report, right, guys?
Yeah, well, mostly
Yeah,
it's
it's not-
basically the closeness to the,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
what I'm trying to
it's
say, to the water. We're giving them 25 foot closer, so it's 25 foot closer to the water, to the stream. So, not that it's right on top of the stream, but it's close enough that I want to make sure there's no issues with it.
Yeah.
So
No, and
that
it's-
would be the Conservation
Yeah.
Board's job.
Not specifically for reasons like that, though, when I try to get snow off, I don't use a lot of ice and stuff
Right.
because I know it's not good going into the water. I don't like it tracking into the house. I don't want it going
Right.
other places. I'm much more careful than the county is when they're spraying all kinds of salt all over
That's
the
right,
place,
right,
which is going into.
Yeah, I've
which-
just been like running scenarios in my
Yeah.
head about like, is it going to
No,
leak
no,
somehow?
we're-
Is there some
My track
some
record has been.
substance you're gonna use that will come into the water? It's
avoid
not
all
the
that.
wetland issue, it's the structure.
I've avoided all that kind of stuff for 30 years.
Yeah.
I don't do anything that even comes close to what the county does to
Right.
try to clear the
Right,
roads.
that's true. I live off of Clove Creek too, basically, and,
Yeah.
you know, it's absolutely true. There are piles of you know, salt and
Salt
stuff,
spreaders
you know,
around
and in
all the
fact, people actually call and say, you know, you're leaving too much salt close to the,
Yes.
to the creek,
Yes.
that I live by. You know, so, but, you know, there are quite a few structures and commercial enterprises off of Clove Creek too. So there's.
Well, a lot of towns get their drinking water from Fishkill and Beacon and, I think it's Wappinger Falls. I think they get water. I think you probably get your water
I have a well.
from a well. Yeah, well, you get it from, well, you're right next to it, so I'm sure you can,
I have additional incentives to be good to everything.
because she lived there.
I have a well. I don't want anything going into the water that
Right,
that I
right.
don't want to drink.
Okay, you're all set. We'll see you September 8th, and hopefully we can get the other thing done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Great package, so
Oh, yeah, really, yeah.
very easy.
Wait,
But you know, we know what they do, though.
is that it?
No, we got one more.
Oh,
You know what they do, they take the one about these attorneys, the one along, it's like this case, that case. You know. All right, next one is, what do we got here? 10 Pond Road, addition to the garage, addition to the barn addition. The application, proposed applicant, 23.5 by 32-foot addition to an existing 1,000 square foot barn. The total cumulative square footage proposed is 1,752 square feet. Last month, we asked for a couple of things, and one was, be a little more detailed on
Yes.
on the thing, no to all the questions, wasn't gonna do it. And then we asked that you, on the survey, you show us where it's going, and you did that. You showed us exactly where it's going to the barn. Right, you're right next to here. Okay. Do you have horses in there now, or?
I do.
You do, huh? Okay. All right, tell us the reason you want this. What do you, for the variance?
Why I'm looking to do this?
Yeah,
So I run a program for adults and children with disabilities, and right now, my facility isn't set up for that. I have sheds and exterior places where these people have to go. I work with ARC of Dutchess County, and that's a work program for disabled young adults, and I feel for their safety, I'm trying to put everything into one building so that I am in eye contact all the time, so they're not running to a shed to get a fork, they're not running to get hay, they're not running to get shavings, and same for my clients. Right now, I have a very narrow aisle, and I at times work with 4 to 5 therapeutic young adults and children. And with the horses on cross ties in the center, it's limited movement around. So I'm looking, it's mainly for safety, if I'm being honest. I love what I do. It's not about making a big, glorious barn. It's about making a safe space for these people. And I would love for you to come and visit, and I brought some more pictures to show you what we do. So the whole idea of this addition is to grow, to bring more of this population to me, and make it safe for them with the horses, and for me to be able to have more of a watch over of what's going on in one building, rather than having it scattered. Pretty much that's it.
No,
But I did bring,
I passed by, I looked at it, so I pretty much know what you're talking about.
yes, I
Is it-
know, so
is there-
that's what I do.
Is there anybody here would like to speak to this? Anybody?
Anyone
No.
in the audience?
Yeah, no, that's people, you don't, I think you're okay, guys. All right. Let's go over the 5 factors on this one. Will undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or will a detriment to a nearby properties be created? No, the building code color blends into the,
So I will say my barn right now
into the spa land building. It sets the hill not in the open space. Okay,
is a very bright color,
right.
and we have worked to make it really faint. It's settling right into the landscape because it's going to be bigger.
Right.
And it was important to me to not have it be vibrant, and so, like I said, you're welcome to visit.
Okay. Is requested variance substantial? No, just over the requirement of 1,000 square feet. Yeah, I have to agree with you there. You're not looking for a substantial extension. Will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? It's in addition to the existing structure, and its impact, it should be minimal conditions. I have to agree with you. Everything is there, and you have a nice open area, and the paddock there, and
Yes.
everything else like that. And I don't see it being a problem to anyone. And we haven't got any letters of complaint, only, and nobody's here. Nobody's here.
My neighbors all, I believe,
Yeah,
sent a letter
we have
with
some
the
letters
first,
for you,
yes.
for that, approval for you, yeah. Is the alleged, let's see, will the proposed variance affect or impact on the physical environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district? Is addition to the existing structure, should have no input? I'd agree with that. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? Yes. Good answer, okay? Yes, self-created. Because, you're looking for more space, I understand,
looking
but
for
there again, you've been there for so many years, you don't need the space, but you
Yes.
want it, and it would help you more, so.
Yes.
Okay. So you got good answers there, that's for sure. I can
Thank
tell you, very few people answered that correctly. Okay. Are there any questions on this or anything? Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, just to clarify, the existing barn is 1,000 square feet, correct? And so you're essentially seeking an addition to the existing barn,
Correct.
correct? And so the new barn, because we'll put this in the resolution, the proposed size is 1,752 square feet.
Correct.
And will it be, is it going to be just one integrated single structure with the addition?
It'll be a single structure, yes.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions or anything else like that? And no questions from the audience, so just now make a motion out to close the public hearing.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this time we're going to take a roll call vote.
I vote
Okay.
to approve the
To
application.
approve, Janice?
I vote to approve the application.
And I
Thank
vote to
you.
approve.
Thank you.
You're all set. So I'm going to sign the paper here, I'm going to give it to you, and you'll be able to go get the building permit.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Here you go.
Thank you.
You give that to the,
You're welcome to come and visit anytime.
oh, no, it's a beautiful
you.
spot.
It
Yeah.
looks like a wonderful program.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, good night now. Get that to the building inspector, and he'll give you the permit.
Have a
Okay,
good night.
Any old business? No. Any new business?
No,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I
All in
second
favor?
that.
Aye.
Aye.